the event? I am talking, Kent. Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for coming. And thank you for coming to the first short film screening event of Raindance Immersive 2025, the 10th edition of the festival. Woo! We're super excited to be back in the Virtual Film Institute world for another year. I want to say thank you so much to Lucy Liu for decorating the space once again for Raindance Immersive. There are 4 excellent films in the Best Short Film of VR category this year, 2 of which we will be showing today, and the other 2 films will be shown tomorrow. We also are showing 2 special out-of-competition documentaries, which are screening on June 28th, if you just can't get enough of films and you want to see even more. We're going to be kicking off the screening today with a documentary called A Dutchman in Virtual Japan by Madame Kana. Woo! Followed by a narrative short film titled Our Precious Autumn by Kung Lu and Studio Penrose. Woo! But before we get to the films, I have some general recommendations to those who are joining us in the instance. First of all, nameplates can sometimes obstruct your view, so do consider turning off nameplates if you're finding that distracting. Also, if you find yourself distracted by people commenting on the film and you want to completely be immersed, you can turn on earmuff mode by double-clicking the speaker icon in your audio settings or within your audio settings. If the video is stuttering or has frozen, there is a resync button at the entrance to the theater on a small tablet screen. And you can take that tablet screen with you. So if anyone wants to grab it now, so you have the resync button next to you, you're very welcome to go and get it. Otherwise, you can get it during the film. Be mindful, if you're taking pictures during the screening, that your cameras floating around might obstruct people's views. So if you want to take a photo, consider taking the photo and then getting rid of deleting your camera so people can see clearly, see the screen clearly. Also, we're talking about obstructing views. Please show Fangs' avatar. They are will be in an invisible avatar and is also running the stream today to YouTube. So to make sure Fangs isn't blocking your view, please show their avatar. I would also like to recommend ticking untrusted URLs on in your settings menu. If the first film doesn't play properly, bear with us, and we're going to change to a backup link. We're kind of using custom high-quality streaming links today, hoping it works, but if it doesn't for everyone, we will fall back to YouTube. If anyone has any issues during the event, you can talk to Jenny, who's backstage, Joe Lee or Fangs as part of the Raindance team, or Black Robe as well, or me if I'm not up here. Okay, that's my spiel. Thank you so much for listening. And it's my great pleasure to now introduce our first film. This documentary introduces someone who many of us know and love, Kaerun, most known for his talents as a VR photographer. This film invites us to step into his world, to meet several wonderful Japanese artists and teachers, most of whom are all great friends of the festival. So we're so happy to be presenting this film today. It's uplifting, it's charming. I hope you enjoy A Dutchman in Virtual Japan. Jenny, without further ado.
Okay, so may I have your attention, please? My name is Riku, the organizer of this party, Kaerun's party. Kaerun, I first met you at Raindance Immersive last year in June. When you said, "Can I take your photo?" Actually, that was the first thing you told me. I was a little scared because I didn't know that VR photographers existed. But after meeting you at Raindance performance for 5 times, we became friends. And since then, my life in VR chat has changed completely. You took me to so many new places and shown how great the outside world was. I feel like I've met so many people that an average person would meet in 50 years in 1 year. And opened countless new doors for me. I won't say I do anything, but I would do just about anything for you.
Hello, my name is Karen, and I am a VR photographer from the Netherlands. And I am excited to work with this magnificent team to make this wonderful documentary. You know, VR chat is, a very interesting place. It's so interesting, like, that there's a lot of really creative minds here in VR chat. So the things that I really do like to capture are those wonderful projects that people do. For example, a band on stage, a singer, or maybe, pianist, or maybe another musical artist. But also people who create beautiful worlds in VR chat. And it's such an interesting thing, because normally you would have to fly an airplane or travel by car to actually visit those places, and now you can actually just put on your headset and you can experience them here in VR. I mean, it's unprecedented, because this is actually the only place where you can, experience such a really nice experience. I started wanting to do something myself, like picking up a camera and started photographing.
Can I take your photo?
こんにちは。どうしてですか？
私は、オフィシャルフィケットアンバサダー、カイルンです。
はい。
And I'm taking photos right now.
はい。
Can I take your photo? きれい。きれい。シンラでしょ？ありがとうございます。Well, we still have 14 minutes left. Where should I go? I need to find some people to take photos of. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Have a good time. Have a good time. Can I take your photo? Can I take your photo? Can I take your photo? So let's see if we can actually find more people. Hi, 皆さん、ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
またね。Shall I take a nice photo of you as well? Isn't she cute?
And artistically, I didn't think I had a lot of skills. I have never been a photographer in real life. So for me, taking photos in VR has been kind of a way to learn that skill.
Yeah, this couple was having a date during VCAT summer last year.
Look
Look at the little matching brooches. And the little finger heart. And this is Rumia during Taiko Takebiduram. We all do want to take a photo in the end.
As a young man, I was already quite involved with Japanese culture, starting with AnimeCon, for example. I organized AnimeCon for over 20 years. And to explain AnimeCon a little bit, AnimeCon is like a big Japanese pop culture festival. It features anime, manga, games, cosplay, you name it. And we had a big troop of people actually performing at our live festival. And they performed during our real life festival over there, while being in VR. So it was all being live. I genuinely got a genuine interest after looking at that. And it's also my friend Shell.
Yes.
I've never really mentioned Shell before, but Shell is one of my buddies that I've known him for 25 years. He was kind of nagging me about, like, hey, you should come to VR. Come to VR. And he was like nagging me. Until one day I decided, like, okay, my birthday is soon. I'm gonna buy a VR headset. So I bought a Quest 2, and I logged in. Oh boy, I was quite surprised what I found out. Really, pretty much. I didn't quite expect a lot from it, really, at first, And then my friend Shell brought me to SLT. It's an open microphone stage. and it's being run every Saturday, Japanese evening. I mean, you got world creators there, you got event organizers there, you got musicians, bands, all kinds of really amazing people. And I never really imagined that there was such a creative community, especially after seeing, you know, all those YouTube movies with people just strolling with each other and, you know, people dwelling in front of mirrors. And there's just an entirely different side to VR chat that I found there, which is pretty much very artistically, and it features pretty much a lot of these wonderful artists from Japan.
ありがとう。
ありがとうございます。はい。あ、なるほど、ね。そうだよ
SOT
ね。
のよくぞ。
あ、はい。よろしくお願いします。あ、すごい。なんか歓迎されてる。嬉しい。ありがとうございます。
Welcome to
お
SOT。
邪魔します。そっかそっか。
こんな感じでリスナーが増えてきます。
結構グローバルなんだね。なるほどね。
そう。
え
ね、オランダ。
はい、私はオランダ人です。
わ
はい
ー、すごい。
結
構海外アーティストさんも多いのかな。
日本語、難しい。
あ、難しい。いや、難しい。
So I use a translator.
あ、そうそう。トランスレーターがあるよ、上にって。
My Japanese capabilities are like 60%. So I can, in listening ability, so I can understand about 60% of what people are saying. So I'm usually, when I try to say something, I would try to write it down or maybe use the chat box above my head to write things down. And it's also, I think, one of the main reasons why I actually picked up a camera. So I could actually convey and communicate with people by just taking a very nice photo of people and giving it to them. And the first year and a half, I was just basically a mute in the Japanese community because I couldn't quite. I know some basic terms like konnichiwa, konbanwa, genki desu ka, and you know the basic things that you pick up. But I think with the coming of all these wonderful translators who can just project everything what you say like above your head, it makes life a lot easier. I mean, you can actually hold a decent conversation now. So for me, that fills in the little gap, the 40% that I'm missing. So I can actually hold a decent conversation now with people.
Hi, please stand up, everyone. よろしくお願いします。シャチホコは想像上の生き物です。頭の形は竜か虎です。
想像上の生き物です。
Well, Hayab represents the will for Japanese people to actually wanting to interact with the outside world. I know a lot of Japanese people struggle with the English language, and it's kind of like a very huge barrier for them. But it's the other way around as well. A lot of international people are interested in Japan, the language. That's where Haya comes in. She teaches English, but around the same time, she learns English as well.
When I first started VR chat, the first person who I became friends with was someone from Korea who could speak Japanese. That sparked my interest in language learning, and I started studying Korean. Later, I wanted to learn more languages, so I began studying English and Chinese as well. Yeah, little by little. Don't think too much, okay? Learning, learning language is long journey. 諦めるな Never give up. 諦めないで We can do it. We can learn together, right? Never give up. Never give up.
Never give up.
英語勉強しましょう。Never give up.
I really find this cool that she made, created, and the little community that she runs. It's such an amazing community. Everybody's so friendly with each other, and this is actually a very playful manner to actually learn something from each other by using games.
Let's try. Let's speak Japanese. Let's try to speak Japanese. And we will role-playing game at the restaurant. So we have to go over there. But before we go to restaurant, let me make teams. Like waitress team and customer team.
Do you accept cards? I mean, you do accept cards as well, right?
No, in Japan, only accept the cash.
I'll do the dishes. Where's the dishwasher?
Over there.
Oh, okay. I'll go. It's soup.
This is water. How can I say it? Water bottle. Bill.
A water bottle.
The language barrier is often a huge challenge. I felt the same way when I couldn't speak English. VRChat has become one of the wonderful tools for language learning. Thanks to gathering the courage to start talking to people, I was able to make friends from different countries, learn to speak various languages, and my world has expanded. Give me your money.
You can have
Give me
this.
the money.
You can have this.
Coffee.
No, it's my money.
I'll marry you if you give me money.
Me too. So answer is sushi.
Sushi.
Yeah.
What is your oldest memory with me together that you still remember?
Sorry, actually, I don't remember. I asked Kyle too, but neither of us remember.
We've known each other for so long, really.
That was my answer. Yes, maybe like 2 years ago.
Might be.
So maybe, yeah, we met with Seru, I think, and we met
it might be
in
Shell, right?
some
My buddy
event.
Shell. Yeah.
I think so, but
Okay, welcome to We Are Japan Tours, and thank you for coming today. Let's do some introductions, yay! Okay, my name is Sheena Bob, and I will be your guide today.
VR Japan Tours is a fantastic place to immerse yourself in the wonders of Japan. The friendly volunteer staff are eager to share their knowledge about the country's rich culture, customs, and traditions.
In Japan, the New Year is an extremely special occasion. There are many traditional customs, such as taking a 3-day holiday, spending time with family, visiting shrines, and eating special dishes. Today, I will introduce one of these customs in detail, the food that makes Japanese New Year special. So, what wish does shrimp represent?
What wish?
To live a long life?
How do you think? How do you all think?
Wait.
The answer
Based on that reaction,
is
seems like it's correct.
long life. Yes, you're right.
Good job. Good job.
From a young age, I was quite interested in the Japanese culture, the way, the traditions, the way how people react or respond to things, their customs. It's also fascinating because it's like a total different. It's totally different from what you see here in Europe and also in the US.
Okay, thank you very much.
I truly would love to visit Japan one day. I'm sure to have a lot of friends to visit if I go to Japan. That's for sure. With all the friends that I made in VRChat. I've been very close before, but sadly some things kind of stopped me in life. Like for example, a COVID crisis. I was almost there, but it's definitely on my wish list. I've been wanting to go for 20 years. Sadly, yeah. Well, I always have something stopping me. So maybe next year. Let's hope so.
Kono kasou sekai ni wa mada nani mo nai. Asa mo yoru mo, taiyou mo tsuki mo, haru mo natsu mo aki mo fuyu mo nai. 記憶が詰まった日本の刀、獅子王が一振りあるだけ。さあ、これまでが詰まった一振りからこれからを始めよう。刀が過ごしてきた四季折々がこれから芽吹く。春夏秋冬、刀が巡った四季、分かれて二十四節気、さらに分かれて七十二候、共に巡ろう。ここがど真ん中だ。龍が天に昇る季節、始まるは春。桜は淡い色も麗しく、散りゆく姿は風情とし、咲くも散るも情緒の花。行く春や鳥なき魚の目は涙。歌えよ歌人、前や舞人、酒や花。そう、春はうらら。
Mention a dancer in the Japanese community, and all the people will point to Yokami. As one of the greatest dancers that has ever graced VRChat, he has taught many of the now famous VRChat dancers. With his fine choreographed dances, he still continues to inspire many others.
そうですね。一番私の中で有名なもの、ポピュラーなものというと、やはり VR ダンスの世界チャンピオンだと認識されている方々が多いですね。そして演劇の面ではベネツィア国際映画祭プレミアムピサド道路最優秀短編賞受賞、そういった部分でありますが、個人的にはそうだな、それこそイギリスロンドン国際映画祭レインダンスの方でノミネートをいただいた白向く世界剣舞四季、そちらが私にとって大きな成果ではないかと思っています。私はなぜ VR チャットで踊ったかというのも少し深く話をするならば、 VR チャットに来たのは8年ほど前。その時には先天性の障害というのがあって、実は、車椅子で生活をしていました。言うなれば左半身麻痺、左半身系麻痺という状態です。なので、左手とか左足が動かない体の障害を持ったまま何かしたいなと思っていたんです。演劇ができなくなって、もちろん古武術も使えなくなった上で何ができるかなと思っていた時に VR に出会うことがあって、その中で VR の中で踊る人を見て自分も踊りたいなと思って右手一本で踊り始めました。でもそうこうしてるうちに VR の中はすごくVR の中はすごく楽しいので、左も動かしたくて必死にリハビリをしました。そうすると今みたいにほぼ全部動いていますよね。この通り動くようにはなりました。ただまだ回復の度合いは 50% ほどです。
I'm Sheena Baobab。VR チャットでは主に VR ジャパンツアーズのナビゲーターとして、また ジャズシンガーとして活動しています。Hi, Karen.
Hello, Sheena. Good morning. Hello.
About 12 hours we spent from last night.
Oh, man, you tell me.
I get up about...
You just woke up, right? I only slept for 4 hours, so 3 hours. It's now 6:30 a.m.
You all have some teeth, got some magical touch. Long ago, a princess cherries, I take hold my love blue, magic of the blue. Color shift around for you. No need to cast a spell. Blue it turns around. Did you see? Did you fall in love with Marble Blue? Here you are. Hope some more. This is Marble Blue. Here you are. Hope some more. This is my love blue.
When I first started VOC, I met a Dutch person. He's Sheo-san. And he introduced me to Karen.
When I first heard her sing, I was like, whoa, who is that? And I come from a background where I never really hear a lot of jazz music. So hearing her, somebody sing jazz on a stage, and later on with her band members as well, it blew me away. And
I mean, for me personally, that's the first thing that I actually noticed when I first met you, that you were actually speaking English to me. And I think it totally left me like speechless back in those days, like during SLT. Like you were talking English, like, huh? Wait, people do actually speak English?
I think slowly she got to interact with more of the international community, starting to bring out her passion for music and her passion for jazz all across the international community instead of, staying to Japan.
As a Japanese person, there is language barrier, but I believe that music has no barriers. In fact, many foreigners have said that even though they don't understand the Japanese lyrics, they enjoy the music because it's good. You kawaii. 確かに。
ほら見つめて catch me 咲いてる星ビューフルサイでうずめく想いは夜に覚めない夜はこれからも日の聞こえる Sound to me 君のそばでいつまでも感じる二人 One dream me させてくれた
Cinematic Neon Club is interesting. During around VCAT, I started actually doing videography as well. So I started around filming things in VR chat and like making movies for concerts and performances. I started recording for Cinematic Neon Club as well and became an official member for them for their production team.
実はですね、私たち、3人でやってるんですけど、カメラマンとしてね、あそこにいらっしゃるカエルンが、チームのメンバーの一人なんです。で、今日はですね、カエルンの撮影、カエルンフューチャーの撮影が入っていて、なのでカエルンが今日は主役なのです。カエルン。
I think it truly shows the power of what you can do with virtual reality because it's a really an international combination right now. And those people are in Japan and I'm in the Netherlands. And it's really nice, how do you call it? cooperation between each other.
For me, the Japanese scene currently is the highest you can get performance-wise in VR chat. And
VR chat,
I would love to see you perform on that stage.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
There's so many events going on in the Japanese scene. There's like 10 different events going on at the same time during Japanese prime time. These crazy experiences that you only can experience in this kind of platform. And I think it's often overlooked by a lot of people.
And let me tell you a little bit about Chimo. I found Chimo in a club once. She was singing on the corner of a street. And I was like, yes, I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to throw you on the stage where a lot of people watch. And basically, that's how we went from stage to stage to stage until she became very popular, until she reached the SLT stage. And I think I've never cried my eyes out so much when she was on that final stage. Oh, Okan! But she's a very lovely person. I met her a couple of times. So Milia, one of my friends, Milia, Animal Base. These are actually friends of mine as well. Oh, and here, special. This is a mocha. And, what to tell about a mocha? They're one of the most popular bands in VR chat, pretty much. And, wow, what to tell? There's not a lot to tell. They're just the best, I think. They're best. Mm-hmm.
シグナル導いてよシューティングスター
私がモカハマったきっかけの時だよ。
私たちは VR ミュージックデュオアモカと申します。ボーカルのアイポです。そして
同じくアモカのボーカルのモイさんです。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
Amoka plays a very, very important role in the Japanese musical VR scene. For me as a cameraman, it's just always such a joy to capture these two on my camera. Even if it's making a photo or filming it, it's such a pleasure because they know they're pretty much stars. They know how to move on the stage. They choreograph everything. They practice everything. They kind of popularize how music is being played in VR chat, at least in the Japanese community.
昔から最初はね、日本の人たちに向けてライブをやっていたんですけれども、やはりレインダンスであったりとかがきっかけで、もっと日本以外の国の人たちにアモカのことを知ってもらえたり、
我々も 音楽を通じて、日本だけじゃない、たくさんの方とコミュニケーションをとっている、感じです。先ほどアイポが言ったみたいにレインダンスフィルムフェスティバルみたいなイベントをきっかけにたくさんの国の方々とつながって、ね、こうやってこのインタビューもそうですよね。なんで
これ自体もね、
そういろいろこれそうですね。なんでもう今国を問わず VR の世界を使ってさまざまな方とコミュニケーションを取れるというふうな、一つのね。
Aipo-san is a very international oriented person. She loves to speak English, so we often communicate in English with each other. We used to do it in Japanese, but nowadays we do it in English.
よく海外のお友達にもアイポの英語は上達したねと言われることが多くなりました。それはおそらく毎日私が VR チャットの中で日本以外の国のお友達と積極的におしゃべりしに行ったりとか。
僕はあまり英語とかが得意ではないだけど、いつもそんな中でもカイルンはすごく丁寧にゆっくりお話をしてくれたりとか、ちゃんとすごい親切にしてくれるんですね。なんで自分にとってもう本当にとても大事な友人だと思っています。
To me and other musicians, he feels like kind of breeze of fresh information from overseas.
カエルンはすごく優しくて、私はそのカエルンのね人柄も大好きで、いろんな悩み事だったりとか、何か困ったこと悲しいことがあった時に個人的にカエルンにお話をしたこともあったり、すごく友人としてもすごくいい関係を築けられていると思います。いつもありがとうカエルン。
カエルン is a genius at creating smiles for many people through his bright character and photos. Through him, I have made many new connections, and I believe that in a different way from our community. He is acting as a bridge between the people of Japan and the people of the West. Oh, Kaelun! We love you. We love you, Kaelun.
Yeah, I love you too, Haya. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, visionaries, creators, musicians, organizers, friends, thank you all for gathering here today to celebrate my birthday. I am not very good at speaking in front of a big audience. And it's one of the main reasons why I'm behind the camera and not usually standing in front of it. So my apologies in advance for making mistakes. So I am now entering my 4th year in VR chat. And, I never imagined that I would meet so many amazing people from all over the world. And it's all of you that keeps me going. And I really want to thank you all for the amazing things that you all do. So let's all have a great party and amazing year. Thank you so much, everybody. We got Europeans, we got Americans, we got Japanese.
And I open camera.
Bravo! Bravo! One more time for a Dutchman in virtual Japan. Now, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage the director of the film and the lead protagonist, Kaerun, to the stage for a Q&A. And anyone else you would like to bring. Warm welcome to the stage. Woo! Unfortunately, we lost our sofas this year. We just couldn't afford them. We lost the bus and budget. So
really?
we are going to be floating or standing, whatever you prefer, whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm going to lower my resolution a little bit because my PC is struggling. So give me a second.
Take your time.
That's all good now.
All good.
What? All right.
Well, there's so much to talk about with this film. It seems like such a celebration of so much, which I'm so excited to get into. But something I love about the film is as we get to learn about the different Japanese artists, we also get to learn how everyone appearing in the film got to meet Kaerun, how they met you, and when they met you. So my first question is for you, Kana. I would like to ask how you, as a director, met Kaerun, and what sparked the idea to make a documentary together.
Oh, interesting. I think I met Kaerun at Raindance 2 years ago, something like that. And at this time, when I made my video about Raindance, I have a lot of footage of that funny little guy was taking pictures, and at that time I made the joke to I could easily make a compilation of moments with Kaerun taking photos, and with time that bring my attention, and 8 months ago, I guess, I asked to Kaerun to make a video about him, and I know when I have a good subject under my eyes, and there is all the time I shoot with him. There is something to take about it. There is always something to edit about it, and I don't stop to ask myself, to tell myself, there is so much more to do with Kaerun than a 10-minute YouTube video. So that's why I think we are here today.
No, fantastic. And what was your reaction, Kaerun, when Kana was kind of, first raising the idea and approached you with this?
Well, it's more like, am I that interesting, really? and I remember, popping up in a video that Kana did of Raindance. I think it was, what was it again? I think one of Kinu's gigs, and it was me in the end shot, like taking a photo. And then I got approached by Kana, and I was doing VCAT back in the last year as an ambassador. And well, this little mouse started following me around, and that's what you saw in the opening sequence over there. And well, after that, she wanted more, so we said to each other like, "Hey, let's do it. Let's go for it."
Amazing. Yeah, it seems like such a natural collaboration, to be honest. So, and I noticed that you had that video in the past of Kaerun. So when we saw this film, it felt like a collaboration that had been fostering and kind of brewing for some time, and we've now seen the reward of that, and it's so beautiful. Something part of the magic of documentary filmmaking is kind of making the film as you're going and writing the scenes as you're in production. I'm curious how true that was for you in the making of this film. Did you know who you wanted to speak to for it in the very beginning when you were writing, or did you kind of follow Kaerun's inspiration? How much was realized during the making of the film versus written beforehand?
I think at the beginning I focused on Japanese people in the Japanese community that we are in common in your friends, and we talk about it, and Kaerun bring on the table the thematic neon clubs too that I didn't know at that time, And starting then, I think we collaborate a lot. It's got a lot of what we have to do and how to show off the thing properly.
I think so, yeah. It's more like we brainstormed a lot of things. And as we brainstormed, we added more and more and more and more. And we could have probably added at least 1 more hour, I guess, for even more people. But, it's a short film.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was something else I was curious about. It's always challenging to know what to squeeze into the amount of time that you're aiming for.
Yeah.
But I think you managed to say so much in this film in the time that you have. One really valuable message in the film is the message of overcoming language barriers, which is said in the film. I think it's said really directly, and I think that's really powerful. And we get to see language learning with Haya and in the classes. But something I want to highlight is there is a language barrier happening behind the camera. I would love to hear how you kind of formed the team around the film to manage the translations during the interviews and during production. How did you achieve such an international project?
Oh, interesting. I'm lucky because I was a VTuber a few years ago. So in the VTubing, there is a lot of people who are really fans of Japan. And thanks to that, I know some people who speak French and Japanese. So I asked to these friends if they're able to come with me to make the translation. And the funny thing is my friends just made me a short résumé. Résumé? Comment dire résumé?
Resume. Resume.
Yeah, some resume of what people are saying, but most of the time I discovered it lately when I used a tool to convert MP3 to subtitles, and most of the time it was at that moment that I understand plainly what people are saying. For example, for Yokami and his really moving story of what bring him to dancing, I start reading what he said. I said to myself, "Wow, it's amazing! I really need this sequence in this documentary, really, really." And there is many moments like that. It's the same for the sequence with thematic neon clubs when Mikori talked about Kelvin. When I wrote it, I said to myself, "That's perfect. That's perfect for the documentary. This is the perfect moment that I needed." But most of the time, I realized it lately.
Oh, that's fascinating, and I'm sure it was magic when you got to capture, realize what those moments were, and it sounds like a lot was realized in the edit of the film as well. But I know you also had interpreters kind of supporting during filming, I think, potentially as well. I'm wondering, did you have interpreters, or was it all kind of after the fact?
During the film. Est-ce que tu peux m'aider?
Est-ce que tu avais des traducteurs? Est-ce que tu avais des traducteurs pendant le tournage avec toi pour t'aider?
Only during the interview parts. During the other parts, I haven't someone to translate with me. But like Karen said, with the coming off of the translators, it's make things a lot easier. Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of help as well. I mean, we got over there who translated. Rico is doing the translations for the subtitles. I think everybody adds a little bit to the film.
Yeah,
and it's
also Potato. Too. Shout out to Potato as well.
Oh. Yeah, bravo. Yeah, I felt that. I felt it in the film, and I also felt it behind the film too. I just love how so much of an international celebration it is. I want to talk to you, Karen, more about the subject of VR photography. I think that's such a fascinating subject for a film, and something obviously I'm very personally interested in as well. I'm curious, is there much of a community for VR photography? I know there's some gallery worlds you can visit to kind of see people's work, but I'm sure people are interested. How can people engage in VR photography? Perhaps go to a gallery or just kind of see.
They can go to
people's
galleries.
work?
Yeah, it's quite an international community as well. There's a big community in Japan, but also internationally, and it's usually beauty photography. So the kind of photography that I do is usually event photography and world photography. So it's kind of different. So there's different branches in the sport, and I think all that it takes is just grab your camera and start taking photos and just interact with the audience and send people photos and just have a really good time and enjoy what you do. That's all it takes.
Yeah. And I know you also, I'm going to make a plug for you. I know you post a lot on social media, your photos, or you're also an event photographer for Raindance as well, which you can see them in the event photos. I'm just plugging you, Kieran, because I want to make sure people see your amazing photography.
Well, thank you.
And speaking of doing event photography specifically, I want people to understand I don't think it's said in the documentary, but how many photos do you take at an event usually, and how do you manage your storage of these photos too?
Well,
because I know it's a lot.
Well, let's just say, it differs per event. For example, we did the Scarecrow event earlier. It was about 500 photos, and I usually keep about 10-20%. But in the worst case scenario, there's Taiko Takebidarum, TTD, with a lot of dancers and a lot of movement. 4,000 or 5,000 photos, per event. And you usually keep 10-20% of that as well. So it's a lot of work, and also the processing of it. It takes a lot of time to edit and to polish, give it a layer of polish, and also to upload. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much space it costs. If you kind of want to know how much space I did use, it's about 3 to 4 terabytes right now. Currently, my entire archive. Yeah, that's kind of harsh, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. But also, I commend you for it. It shows your dedication to the medium and the art of it.
In the end, it's all memories of people. And for me, my vision is people have a great event in the evening, and you kind of want to capture that moment. And when they go to bed, especially in the Japanese time zone, for me, because I'm 7-8 hours behind, depending on the season, they go to bed, and I start editing and uploading. And when they wake up, they see that photo again, and they're instantly pulled back into that moment, into that that very nice feel that they had the evening before. And I think that's a very important feeling.
I relate really strongly with what you were saying. This is the same for my tiny montage that I do in events, and I think that's why you speak a little bit. You said that there is kind of natural that we work together, and of course we do the same things. Caroline in photography, me in video. So this project was really naturally because we do exactly the same things.
Yeah, we feel each other pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, same passions. It comes across. But I want to talk about. I've got one more question, and then we're going to open up to the crowd. I just think we need to talk about the mixed media aspect to the film, specifically the animations. They're so charming, and it's such a nice, element to help bolster the narrative of the film. Was that a new skill you developed? I know I've seen you do so much art before. Was animation new? And at what stage did you decide to add the animations in?
Oh, this is a really good question. To be honest, there is a documentary that will be released in a few times about VRChat and virtual reality. And I totally missed the name right now and feel so sorry. But I did the French subtitles for it, and there is a lot of animation sequence in it. And I said to myself, this is a really good idea. This is add so much more to visualize, to make things more poetic, and to add things on it. And I have to be honest, I stole the idea from this other documentary, and in my own style of drawing, but I stole the idea in this documentary.
No, I love it. Steal like an artist, as they say. Well, they add so much. So I'd love to open up if anyone has any questions for Connor, Kaerun. Please come up on stage. Would love to hear audience questions. If not, I have more questions. Does anyone have any questions? Or comments? No, that's okay. Someone's jumping in the back. If you'd like to ask a question, you're welcome to come down. But I will ask another question then. I would love to know when the film could release, and if there's a date for it. It's okay if there isn't.
Not really date, but for the end of the month or the beginning of the next month. For our Japanese friends, there will be Japanese subtitles on these versions, and also Dutch subtitles, I think, and French subtitles, for making it accessible for the most people possible. So yeah, this is for the end of the month, I guess.
Yeah, kind of. Mm-hmm. That's what we're aiming for.
Amazing. Oh, it's so exciting. I can't wait to share it, of course. Does anyone have any questions? Before I... No? That's okay. Oh, Dust Bunny?
Here comes the Dust Bunny.
Yay, okay. Gotta have at least one. Thank you, Dusty.
Hello. Is it okay if right here? Is this
you can come next to me. Come all the way up.
Okay. This question is for Madame. I'm curious, when you're filming, you have lots of different angles and shots. Do you have someone else helping you with the camera work, or are you just filming like sections, or what's your filming method?
Yeah, for some moments there is at the most we were four, I guess, for the Amoka concert. There was Kaerun, there was me, and there was two other friends, Mr. Kuss and Ildamis, two French friends of mine, working with us. And for me, for something that makes the edit, is so much cool to have so many angles on the same performances, because it's really, really cool for making the edit. It's really comfortable.
Cool. Thank you. Great job. I loved it.
Thank you, Dusty.
Awesome.
It was pretty fun filming it, really.
Well, I'm sure. I can believe that.
Your show.
Sheriff, please come up on stage.
I don't have a question. Oh, hang on. Whoa, that's a lot of avatars. Holy crap.
That's a lot of avatars. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me frame. Hang on. I'll keep focusing on looking at the left.
Look at me.
Sorry, Bo, but if I look right, I'm probably good. Yeah, I'm looking at you. And you, both of you. No, I have a comment. I don't have a question, because like everything in the documentary I already knew, even before the documentary was made. Basically, except one exception though. I'm really surprised how you integrated really well into the community. When I pulled you into VR chat, I kind of hoped that you would just enjoy your time. I'm kind of stunned how fast and how hard you grew, and how quick. And I think time. The speed is, for me, almost some moments was unmeasurable. That's kind of freaking out. And the good thing about it is I was really hoping that when I would bring someone into VR chat, that he would be a productive member of the community. I brought in multiple people and with varying results, some good, some bad. I think all those attempts now have been completely destroyed by your record. I'm really happy with this. This is the best outcome I could have ever hoped for. Thank you so much.
Come here, buddy.
I'm so happy I spoke my mind during the meeting. Holy shit.
Good job. Well, you're the secret protagonist in
anyway,
this movie,
that's it.
So. Yeah.
Shero is the through line. It's like, how did you meet Karen? Shero.
He's the real protagonist. It's not me, it's him.
How do I meet? Oh, that's actually a really good question. How did I make? That was 1999, Amsterdam. Probably.
Oh, even earlier, I think. We know each other for 25 years. So.
Yeah. So but that's 2000. So I think it was earlier than that. So 26 years now.
I'm sure it's a whole story.
I don't know
Go
anymore.
way back.
That's another.
We could make a documentary about that.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, you should ask this little mouse
Anyway,
here.
thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Yel.
We'll talk later. And I'm now really
Thank you,
lagging. You're welcome. I'm really sorry that I bring people into this hobby because it's really expensive. I'm so sorry.
We have time for one more question. If anyone wants to ask. Okay, yeah. Lanzor?
Thank you.
Oh, come up on stage.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The question I have is, I wanted to ask in regards to filming the documentary. I'm very curious on the actual logistics of it. Did you have to follow Kairun for, a few months' time? Was there use of like reenactments? I'm very curious on that. I appreciate it very much.
Mm-hmm.
It mainly depends on the parts. For the parts when Kerwin was photographing, especially at Veket, I just joined him to filming. But with the Japanese community, that's the thing that I learned during the documentary. Accreditation are really important. So we spend a lot of time talking about when, where, what to do. And by example, when we filmed at Emen Record during a China concert, they only sing and play free copyright music, for example, because it's really important. So it depends many of the parts, and there is a few seconds that get bring into the documentary at the last time. For example, the one with Ekochin, when the Kerwin talking about his photo during the Veket, that I record a month ago, I guess, something like that. So very recent.
Yeah. Well, you got to see it like this, Lancer. Imagine walking around, and every time you look behind you, there's a little mouse behind you.
Wow.
That's how it feels like.
Like that. For 60.
Wow. It's like a nature documentary, but for Kairun.
Thank you,
We're only
Lanzo.
missing a good
Great
narrator,
question.
right? I guess.
Thank you so much.
I was also curious about the, what points everything was filmed, but it was edited in such a, smooth, continuous way. It's really a cohesive watch. That's all we have time for. Thank you so much, Madam Kana, for sharing this film with us. Thank you for being in the film, Karen, for the collaboration of you two. It was such a pleasure to select this for the festival. Thank you. Round of applause for Dutchman in Virtual Japan. Woo! Thank you so much again, Kana and Karen, and everyone who appears in that documentary. So many of you are in the instance with us. We now have a 10-minute break, so you can take a bio break, have some water, and then after that 10 minutes, I will be back on stage introducing our second film, Our Precious Autumn. Please stay tuned. We'll be having a Q&A after that film with also the director and the team behind it. So we'll see you again in 10 minutes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I want to say one thing before I make a short introduction. Just to mention that if you are on the open beta, you might be encountering some issues with crashing with the video player. It was warned to me that some had that experience. So just, if you're on the open beta and you're having issues, consider coming off of it. That being said, so excited to welcome you back. Not that any of you really left. Our second short today is a narrative film that explores the emotional struggles of being an overworked artist, portrayed through a dreamy and poetic style. Please enjoy Our Precious Autumn, and stay tuned for the Q&A that will follow the film. I hope you enjoy it.
Yo, me and Ellie are heading out for happy hour. Did you wanna...
Can't. Kind of in a groove right now. Sorry.
What's this?
Oh, that? That's just from a personal project. I haven't touched it in like a year.
What's it about?
Come on, you can't just hang a panel like that on the wall and not expect us to ask about it.
Okay, fine. It's from Your Precious Autumn, a project I started back in college. It was supposed to be a coming-of-age drama about two young adults, Aiko and Yuta. They both had a dream, to work together at this animation studio, and eventually Aiko got the job, but Yuta ends up at an ad agency.
In these panels, are they fighting because Yuta feels jealous of Aiko?
Not necessarily. Aiko's upset because Yuta chose his career over working on a film they promised to finish together.
You gonna pitch this to the studio?
Doubt they'd want to support something like this. Seeds of Life is my life now anyways.
So, about the bar... Come on, it's just one night. You're always working and...
You got this.
Outbound train from New Millennia, Capital Square, is arriving shortly. For your safety,
You eat yet?
No.
See? Told you she would skip dinner.
Thank you guys. How was happy hour?
Pretty relaxed, actually. Now eat. And take a shower, too. You smell. Ugh. Ow!
We'll leave you be now. Make sure to go to sleep soon.
I will.
Ami, can we have a word with you?
So, we just wanted to start by saying that we love Seeds of Life and we love your manga, but the sales haven't been the best.
We're getting pressured by upper management to reevaluate our current and upcoming projects. The sales for this recent issue of Seeds were a fifth of the sales of our Isekai productions.
We think that you would excel much more if you worked on a project that is different from your current genre. So, we'd like to put you in a new manga idea that we'd like to explore.
I think you'll get a lot more attention with this one.
Yeah, and it's good to try new things.
Don't worry about them. It's just their job to fuss over numbers. How's chapter 5 going?
It's going fine.
If you need us, we'll be at our desks.
Thanks, guys.
Your attention, please. The next train will not be stopping at this station. For your safety, please stand behind the yellow line.
Yuta? Yuta.
Oh, hey, you. You made it.
What is happening?
Hello? Your book signing? Overdose on coffee again?
Wait, book signing? For what?
This?
What are you talking about? I thought that flopped.
Sure. Tell that to everyone here.
wasn't her bestseller. But looks like you struck a chord with people at least.
Yeah, give yourself some credit. We liked it. Everyone here liked it.
Hey, nice to meet you. I just wanted to say that I really like the manga.
Thank you.
I was going through a rough patch this year, and the manga really helped keep my mind off of things. Thank you for the stories you tell. They mean a lot to me.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Ahem. More fans await you.
Aiko, the commercial's about to play.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, you ready?
Aiko? Yuta?
What did you think?
It's a commercial.
They said they couldn't put me on larger projects yet.
Uh-huh.
Come on, it's a huge thing for me.
What about that romance drama? What happened to that?
It just didn't work out, okay? You know how the industry is.
Yeah, but you're smart. You have a drive.
Aiko, I'm just not as good of a director as you.
You are.
Because you're waiting for something that's never going to come.
This is it for me. I don't get any second chances.
What about Your Precious Autumn? Weren't you excited to direct that with me?
I was. If I leave, I'll have nothing.
Hi.
Oh. Hi.
Follow me. Look.
Are these? Did you draw these?
Mm-hmm. I drew these. Do you like them?
I do. These are very sweet.
I want to be an artist when I grow up.
What did you draw here?
That's Mr. Winters. He's mean.
Why is Mr. Winters mean?
Because he doesn't like my drawings. He says that one day I'll need to get a job.
Why do you want to be an artist?
Drawing is fun. I like drawing. Why don't you like drawing anymore? Wake up! Grab my hand! Are you hurt?
Are you okay? You've been killed.
Should we call an ambulance? Hey, can you sign my copy?
Of course. What inspired you to write the story?
Well, I wrote it for me.
The autumn leaves drift by the window. The falling leaves of red and gold. I see your lips. Summer kisses, your sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you've been away, the days grow long. Soon I'll hear old winter song, but I miss you most of all, my darling. When I
Don't forget, dinner tonight at 9.
We'll be there.
Wake up! Grab my hand!
Are you hurt?
Okay. You're gonna be killed.
Should we call an ambulance? Hey, can you sign my copy? Of course. What inspired you to write the story?
Well, I wrote it for... me.
The autumn leaves drift by the window. The falling leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, your summer kisses, your sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you've been away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall.
Don't forget, dinner tonight at 9.
We'll be there.
Bravo.
What in the world?
A beautiful movie.
That it was super. I don't even have words for that.
I'm a little bit in tears actually after watching this.
Round of applause for our precious Autumn. Gorgeous. Now, once again, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage the director of the film, Kung Lu, and some of your crew within Studio Penrose. Please join me and give them a warm welcome. Welcome to the stage. I can't wait to talk about this film. But there's a few of us on stage. So I think the first thing I'd love to do is for you to introduce yourselves and your role on the film.
Of course. Hi guys, I'm Kong. I'm the lead of Studio Penrose as well as the director of the film.
Hi, my name is Envy Waffles. I'm a main body actor.
Hi, I'm Lazy Dino King, and I'm also a main body actor.
Hi, I'm Eliza Zhang. I'm a film composer.
Hello, my name is Quinn. I'm the cinematographer and one of the camera heads for Our Precious Autumn.
Bravo! Bravo. All of you can come forward a little bit, by the way, just so you have more space on the camera behind you. Yeah, that's perfect. I want to make sure you're all seen. Now, the themes of this film, and I'm sure so many people in the audience can agree that they feel really relatable, especially for those in creative industries. So to get started, I'd love to understand where the seed of that theme, seeds of life, one could say, where the seed of the themes and the idea came for the film. I'm especially curious because your previous work within Penrose and yourself as a director, Kung, has been more genre-led, Emergence and the Penrose Protocol. This film takes a much slower pace and is a lot more focused in on kind of emotional themes. Tell me where that started and where the inspiration began.
Yeah, of course. So a while ago, our first project as a team was actually a more emotional film. It was meant to be a feature-length film, and we started this project, I think it's got to be like 4 years ago. And so we've actually wanted to do something of this emotional nature for a while. But because of just other projects getting in the way, we never got around to finishing that project. But what happened was after Studio Penrose was formed 2 years ago, we all had this idea, and I had this idea to make an emotional short film to kind of, tie back what we used to do. And it was through a lot of just the struggles of starting a new studio where this idea kind of came about. I think for a lot of us creatives, we feel the difficulties of meeting expectations, of meeting numbers, of meeting, bosses' expectations. And I nearly burnt myself out of filmmaking, basically, because of this. The film is based on my experience as a filmmaker as well. And there was a point in time where I almost just gave up the filmmaking stuff because it just got too difficult, all the stress, all of the pressures, and that was kind of the seed for this film. And I wanted an outlet for it, and I wanted to make something that a lot of people could relate to, because it wasn't just me going through this, it was a lot of other creatives as well that we were friends with.
Yeah, the themes feel presented in such a authentic way, so it makes sense that it comes from somewhere personal. And following on from that question, it's amazing to see there's quite a lot of writers on the film, kind of core writers and additional writers. I think it's important to recognize that when you're making a film in VR, the writers are not usually in a physical writer's room together, collaborating and talking about the narrative. And so I'd love to ask, how did you collaborate in the early stages of writing the film and kind of stay in sync with each other's ideas?
Yeah, of course. This film's writing, I think, was a little bit different than what we typically do. We typically have like a designated team, and it's really internal is what it is with the studio when we have like people review the scripts and help us write. But because of the nature of this film, I wanted to do this right and make sure that we had a lot of creative help from other creatives as well to pitch in ideas and I guess their own experiences. And so when I pitched the idea of Our Precious Autumn originally, we had a lot of people help out with the initial stages of the writing, the coming up with the scenes, kind of like I was asking a lot of people like, hey, what was your experience of Burnout like? Actually, Ariel and Starheart are in the crowd, and those two really helped with the film's writing as well in the early stages, because they're both also creatives. And it was a very collaborative effort, I think, especially in the beginning stages.
Yeah, I think that's like such a unique and it's a unique way to work for this medium specifically, I think, because you have to really, get on calls and find ways to communicate in not just a physical sense. So I think it's really commendable, that effort. I'd love to. I have some questions for the kind of somewhat stunt work and camera work, but I also really want to touch upon the voice acting. And the voice acting is superb in this film. I would love to hear how you approached casting and how you found the voice actors.
Yeah. So with the voice acting casting for this film, I wanted specifically to have a more diverse range of voice actors from all like skill levels, essentially. We usually do casting calls for our films, and we did the same here. But I made sure that it wasn't just like all like corporate or I guess industry VAs. And so the lead voice actress is someone who her name's Katie. She does like work for Crunchyroll, and so she's an industry VA. And the coworker VAs are half and half. So the coworker that has the green hair, this one, her VA does like work for Fortnite and Genshin Impact, whereas the VA for Ellie, the kind of white-haired character, she's a indie VA and has done work for VR films in the past. And with like Yuta and Aiko, those two manga characters, I specifically chose to have those two VAs be VAs that have worked with our projects in the past. Actually, both of them are VAs from Emergence. And the reason why I wanted to choose that was because those characters represent Ami's like work, or her manga coming to life, and I really wanted it to be reflective of like our previous films and our two VAs that we've had on our projects for a while.
Oh wow, yeah. I felt there was. I mean, I knew talking to you before that there was a lot of thought put into the casting, which I think is really valuable to recognize. So I'd love to kind of throw a technical question out. There's some complex camera movements in this film. I think one that particularly shouts to me is the dolly zoom as we kind of come out of the dream space or somewhat still in it. You're also dealing with facial tracking on the avatars as well. What was the most challenging aspect or the most challenging shot in the production, would you say, to accomplish? And that's a question for anyone.
I think what I'll do is I'll at least say that the dolly zooms were done using the VRChat default camera because they introduced the ability to use like a dolly camera. And so those were kind of difficult because of the coordination of like all of the actors. But I would venture to say, I'm going to throw this question actually, maybe Quinn and then Lazy, because Quinn is another camera person and cinematographer. And so their perspective is probably a little different than Lazy, who was a body actor, and what the most difficult thing was. So, Quinn.
In terms of, I guess, camera direction for this film, I think one of the toughest shots we had was probably when Ami was in the child Ami's room and she was sitting down reading through the old sketchbook as a kid, and we had a lot of trouble trying to get her sitting down, actually not like losing tracking or having a lot of issues like that, but it was really tough to get that perfect frame where you could have not only see the subtle change in her flipping through the pages, but also get her expression and also like just some subtle change from Ami or John Ami's perspective. So it was a bit tricky, but I think we got in the end. And if there was another one to highlight, I think also the scene where Ami wakes up from the dreamscape and is actually hopping off of the tracks, getting help from those two on the platform. It was a little tricky to get that because, of course, play space and actually making that massive change from elevation is a bit tricky with, actually moving your places around and jumping in real life. So I think those are probably one of the two that would come to my mind in honesty. But Kong, I think also the shot we had for when we introduced Yuka and Aito in their apartment, we did a dolly shot that actually was reversed. So we started going up to Ami instead, rather than showing Ami and then reversing back to introduce those two characters on the couch. So I think those would be the examples I would choose.
Oh wow, yeah, thank you for your insight. Yeah, I would be happy to kind of extend this question to you, Lacey, as well, in terms of the body acting.
Yeah, so Quinn kind of somewhat touched on the one that I was going to go on, which was that train scene. I was just trying to time everything with place spacing up from that elevation and just making everything look in sync without, of course, clipping or getting hit by the train. It was all just like timing, and that was pretty difficult, shall we say.
Did you have a risk assessment? I should hope so. I'm
sorry?
So did you have a risk assessment for the train?
Yeah, I pretty much.
I actually had a question for the train. It's somewhat just a technical question, but did you have to wait for the train to come round each time to get that shot, or did you have it on like a playback so you could easily kind of rewind, do another take, come back, do another take? I was curious about that.
Yeah, so Peach Bite was the world designer for that train station world, and her studio Seventh Circle Labs as well. And so basically, we had the train world made, and the trains were like on replayable cycles, and we could like trigger the train to begin moving. We'd also change its speed. And so when the train was at fast motion, that was a little easier because it's just quick. It does cycle, but we can just restart it and it'll move fast. But for any shots that include the lighting, where she's laying on the tracks and the headlights kind of like slowly fade into her face, those we actually slowed the train down to its like slowest speed to kind of give that cool effect of the lighting slowly hitting her face, and that was really slow. They had to lay on the ground for a hot minute to wait for the thing to appear because we couldn't toggle where its position was. So it had to be starting from the beginning again, of the cycle.
Oh wow. So it's like details like that I think, are so powerful in this medium of filmmaking. It's like that attention to detail and the production process. I want to talk more about the world design actually, but before I'd love to ask Eliza a question. In terms of the music is really touching in this film. Naturally, I think one of the most beautiful moments is when we're with the younger self. So I'd just love to hear your perspective on what your journey was like with the music. Did you know immediately what you wanted to do instrumentally, or was it quite iterative and you kind of changed as you went along?
Yeah, it was quite an iterative process, and it was also my first time scoring a film. So just having to try to learn how to do all of this for the first time, talking with Kong, trying to understand the emotions of each of the scenes and what we wanted the audience to feel. That was definitely a very helpful process to fine tune how we wanted this to sound. And basically found a lot of musical inspiration from a lot of Japanese anime and video games I had grown up with as well. And that helped me figure out the Ami's theme, which then has different variations over the course of the film.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, it's so touching throughout, and it feels so cohesive throughout as well. Now, I have one more question before we open it up to the audience, and that is just talking about world creation. There's so many talented artists. I know Peach Bite is one of them. On making the worlds for the film, what kind of design ideas, and were there any complexities in terms of the world design? And would love for you to just shout out the people that worked on it as well.
Yes, of course. So first off, hey Kadeko, I'm sorry to call you on stage, but if you want, could you come down and kind of help explain the world aspect if you're here and alive? While Kadeko moves around, the three world creators were Peach Bite, Lucy Liu, and Kadeko on the main worlds that were, I guess, altered for this film. And each one played like a different role, like different world. Kadeko's worlds were the office world and the childhood world, which I think were really important because of the artwork that were in them. And so, yeah, Kadeko, I'll pass the question to you on like the world design and choices with that. Like what was yeah.
Well, I made the walls for our precious autumn. So the way how it started was that like um I always like to make worlds, and like Kong was like asking me if I can make worlds for them for the movie, and I said yeah, sure. And like it's gonna be the first experience for me, and uh I also so even though like I'm not a voice actor or I'm not a body actor, like I still had to like read the script as well, like so I understand like what the characters are, and with that information I was able to like build environments.
How early did you start the collaboration with the world creators? Was it, like when the script was finished, or when you had a storyboard? It would be interesting to hear kind of at what point were you starting, okay, let's get a block out of the space. Talk me through the timeline.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we finished a draft of the script, and I'm pretty sure I brought this to Kadeko. And at the point of us finishing the draft for the script, we also began like the storyboard, because this film actually used like a drawn storyboard that Acrylic drew for us. And so we used that in combination with like what Kadeko said, like understanding the script and the characters to kind of design what these spaces should look like. The lighting, the choice of positioning of all the I guess desks and equipment and windows and stuff. Lighting was a huge component, and I think Kadeko was like really good at that and pretty much nailed it on the spot.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it. Thank you for joining us on stage at last minute, Kadeko as well. So I'd love to open up for audience questions. If you have any questions, please just come stand next to me and we'll take them. Kent, would love to hear from you. Oh, you might have to unmute yourself.
Sorry. Yeah, just really enjoyed the piece, and I noticed in the credits and in the discussion decoupling between the voice acting and the body acting. And so just curious, like if a lot of times in animation, they'll do the voice acting first and then animate everything around it. What were the logistics in terms of like if that's the order that you did it? And then if you're doing facial tracking with the actors, then are the body actors then mimicking the sounds, or like how do you negotiate that? Are you doing them kind of doing the acting and then replace the audio later? Just love to hear that process of like how do you manage this decoupling of the voice acting and the body acting?
Yeah, so this one was a little different actually. We typically do what's called ADR, and that's like dubbing after like filming everything. I think animation studios typically do that most of the time, especially the Western ones. But we decided to do the opposite this time around, where we actually had the voice actors and actresses record their lines ahead of time. And the reason for this choice was I felt like the scenes that were really emotional, I didn't want to limit the voice acting. I didn't want the VAs to have to like conform to what they see on screen. I just wanted to like give them the scene, the storyboard, and just let them go all out on it. And so we recorded all the lines, and then we gave them to the body actors, and all of the body actors got the lines put in order ahead of time that I kind of curated for them to like kind of learn and get used to. But I didn't want them to play the voice lines over the microphone, because when you're trying to like click buttons and they're trying to sync up to existing voice lines, it kind of feels like very rigid, and I can usually tell with the body acting. And so instead, we had them actually voice the lines in the rough sort of timing that they would have. And with that as well, with the eye tracking specifically, they had to just kind of puppeteer that while also remembering the voice lines. So the three lead body actors I'd like to mention are Lazy, Waffles, and Ghostly, who's also in the crowd. And they had to do quite a lot of puppeteering. And it's very... I can't do body acting. So like props to them for being able to get the lines down, and then also the... like expressions and stuff. Yeah, a lot of puppeteering.
Awesome. Thanks. And any other comments from the body actors, just to hear a little bit about that process, what that was like?
Yeah, so it was very interesting, like actually being able to take the time to study the lines and just taking the time to think about their emotion that's within the tone of their voice and figuring out how to match that up while bringing out like the life to it. That was a fun part to it. It's just learning the lines, studying them, and then actually be able to say them while using face tracking and everything to really match up with how they're saying it, the tone, and just how they're feeling in that moment. It really showed me what kind of energy they're bringing.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kent. Did you want to say anything more on that in VR Waffles? No.
No,
All has been
that's
said. Yeah, it's fascinating. A great question. Any more questions? Connor? Oh. Not Connor. First off?
Hello. I was mainly curious about the usage of props. Are they part of the world? Are they part of avatars? Because I saw, like, especially in the dream sequence, the childhood sequence, the finger movements of grabbing the sketchbooks are insanely well synchronized with props. I was wondering how you did that.
Yeah, this one was kind of weird. It's a combination as well. So some scenes used in-world props, while others used like avatar props. And one of the things that I think, if you have tried filmmaking VR, and I think anyone who like has had like props in world and in actually avatars too, you'll notice is if you have a prop attached to your hand, for instance, and you try to hold it as still as you can, and you look really closely, and you have a camera trained in on it, it will stutter, and it kind of looks really jittery. And so we ran into that problem with that childhood scene especially, and so we decided to do a little bit of a alternative route where we placed the sketchbook in world and just had it like still, or had our like characters or body actors hold the book. It looks a little less stuttery, and so it's a mixture basically. It depends on how close we want the camera on the object.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Great technical question. Okay, Gold.
Thank you. Thanks to the whole team for your hard work. I can tell that a lot of hours and people's time went into this, so thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, I feel like the coolest thing about seeing this film was that all of the scenes felt like they take place in like the same style of world, which is really hard to achieve in VR chat. I know you talked about how you kind of curated around that. Was that also editing too? Like, can you just speak to how you made the whole film feel like it was in the same world, even though there's so many different spaces?
Of course. So I think to break down like art style consistency, I didn't really think about this until like recently, but VR chat does have different art styles. Like the worlds are different, avatars are different. And so to keep things consistent, there were like 3 things that we focused on. The first is the avatars. Like we used all booth avatars for the most part, avatars from the website Booth, and kind of anime-esque art style. But not only that, we keep the shading consistent and all the shaders consistent to make sure that they all look the same. I do things like turning off outlines for all character avatars to make sure that they don't look like they're in the wrong anime. And so that's like the first thing. The second thing is, you're right, the worlds. Lighting will obviously like alter a lot, and also the design. We used like consistent assets and consistent like stylizations and shaders again, to make everything kind of look the same. And we were working like really close all the world creators to make sure that was the case. And the lighting, we also had to try to keep the same. We wanted this more realistic style of lighting, and so we didn't have any like crazy bloom effects across like one world not the others, and so that kind of helped everything look the same as well. And the last thing is the post-processing plays a major role, the color grading specifically. If you were to watch this film with no color grading, it would look like everything's in different animes, even if they're like designed the same. And what I did for the color grading was tried to match colors and consistency across worlds. And it takes a little bit of work to do that. I didn't realize how intricate color grading was, because typically in previous films, I kind of like just worked with what we had in terms of world, and it wasn't like 100% a need to keep everything super consistent. But because I also wanted to show some visual storytelling through the color grading, I had to kind of make things look consistent there. So those 3 things are what we chose to make keep the style consistent.
It shows. Thanks for your hard work.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, Gold. Yes, color grading. I think we talk about it every year, and I always love it because it's so important. Any more questions? Please come to the stage if you do. If not, I would love to ask a question. I'm curious if there were any influences on the film, specifically other films that were references or inspiration points for the story and technically.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny how this went about. So I think anyone here who likes watching anime may recognize the Fujimoto film called Look Back, which was released this year. And basically the premises of that film is about a manga artist as well who is kind of struggling with their finding joy in their work and just finding themselves through the art of manga. And when we had started writing this film was before that was even released. And actually, I think it was one of my staff members that brought up the idea of the film because I didn't know it existed either. But that was a huge inspiration in kind of cementing what we were planning with the film and sort of designing the scenes and whatnot. But I would say for the most part, the film's influences came from referencing little bits of what we experienced throughout our filmmaking, I guess, journey. Every scene in that film was referenced from some experience that I've personally had in the past with filmmaking specifically. And so that was a huge thing in designing those scenes and writing the film.
It's so kind of hilarious that a feature film would come out with a really similar story right as you're releasing the short. It's typical, but that sounds interesting for those who I guess enjoyed this film. You should see Look Back as well.
Highly recommend.
Any questions from the floor? In that case, I'm going to ask the same question I asked Madam Kana. When can we expect to see the film out?
Yeah, so the film will release actually next Friday, so June 20th, sometime around noon or 3 p.m. Central Time or something like that. I even forgot the exact time. But yeah, we're finally able to release the film now that it's made it through Raindance and the screenings. So very excited. You can find it on our YouTube eventually that day.
Amazing. So 20th of June, Friday. Look forward to it. I have another question, but it's been plucked from my mind. But I think we're also coming up to time. So if there's no more questions, I'd like to wrap up there. Thank you so much. Go. Oh, Fangs, last minute question. Shoot.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, yes. So the question from Fangs is, how did you do the tears on the paper?
That's a fun one. So the tears on the paper, specifically when they hit the paper, were VFX'd in by Dozing Cat, someone that has helped us a lot with VFX work. They do amazing VFX work. And the tears themselves were a mixture of that, more VFX work, and also on the avatar itself. And so we kind of combined practical and post production to make that look like that.
Good question. Okay, with that, thank you so much to you all for making this an incredible film, and to the team, and all the other crew members. Thank you, Kong, for engaging with the festival and for putting this on for us. Thank you for doing the Q&A. It's been such a joy to show this film. Another round of applause for Our Precious Autumn.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you guys for attending.
You may exit stage. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay. Now, just some closing words. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us in VR in the instance today. You were such a great audience. Thank you to those watching on stream as well. Thank you to the amazing filmmakers again, Madam Kana and K-Rune with a virtual Dutchman in virtual Japan, and Kung Lu and his wonderful team within Studio Penrose. Bravo. A huge thanks to Fangs, who has been operating our live stream camera today. Thank you so much, Fangs. And thank you to the core Raindance team, Maria, Bangs again, Joe Lee, Jiu and Jenny, who helped backstage with playing the films, Lucy Liu, again, for the world, and our additional supporters, Black Robe, Dangleberry, a handful of more people, Kinsey. This event would not be possible without your support and your amazing curation skills. So thank you. Tomorrow, we will be watching 2 more films with director Q&As, so please do come along tomorrow, or you can watch the stream. We will be streaming the event again. And as we close, I would love to all go downstairs and take a group photo on the step and repeat board. The easiest way to get there is to respawn. So if everyone wants to respawn, let's go take a group photo. And thank you again for coming.
C'était vraiment très très cool de correspondre.